Hello, everyone, and welcome to the video for lesson 41, 40-1, which is the addition rule. So we're going to skip ahead and start with page 582 and 583, kind of look at the generic addition rule. So here we have just, again, a generic Venn diagram. We have activity, or event A, event B, and then they give us some probabilities. So we're going to go through and kind of see what these letters represent. So the first one, they want to know, what probability of A is. So remember, A is the entire circle here. So we want to look, hey, what's the probability of this whole circle, right? That's basically what we're trying to find out. So if I were to go ahead and highlight this whole circle so I can see, hey, what's going on with event A, and maybe highlight it a little faster by making it a little bigger, we can kind of see, hey, what's the probability for event A? Now, you got to be sure you know what you're doing here. The probability includes the entire circle, right? So I think some people kind of get confused between the whole circle and just the P part of it, right? In this case, if I wanted to know the probability for A, I would have to add the two probabilities P and Q together. So probability of A in this case is P plus Q. And the same thing happens with B. Right? B is, again, the entire circle. Right? It's not just a piece of this circle. If I want to know the probability for B, I got to look at this whole circle. So again, it helps to kind of like visualize it. I like to highlight. You might not have that same kind of ability. But for me, when I do the colors, it kind of helps me see what's going on. And here I can see that the probability of B is, again, the whole circle. So I'd have to add the two pieces together, the piece labeled Q and the piece labeled R, to find the probability of B. So if I wanted to find the probability of A plus B, I'd then add these two things together, right? We have the probability of A, which we found to be P plus Q. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to add to that now the probability of B, right, which we can see we just found as being Q plus R. All right, so if I wanted to find the probability of A plus B, I'd add those two individual probabilities that we just found together. Now, if I want to find the probability of A intersect B, right, that's going to be this middle purple portion, right? I want to find the overlap of these two circles. Where are both of them happening at the same time? So in this case, that would just be Q. Okay? Now, if I wanted to find the union of A and B, then I would have to add all three pieces together. Right, I'm going to have to add P plus Q plus R. So P plus Q plus R. So now what we want to do is we want to kind of take a look, right? We want to compare, hey, what's the difference between, A plus B, the probability of A plus B, and the probability of A union B. And the difference between these two is right here in the middle, right? When we have the A plus B, we're going to add Q twice. Whereas in this case, we want to know the probability of A union B. There's only one Q in there. Right? So in this case, I want to know some kind of formula for finding the probability of A union B. Right? And when you see this, you think, oh, well, right away, I'm going to think, all right, well, it's A, plus B. Right? We just talked about that that's not going to work. Because if I did that, right, I'd have an extra Q. So the idea here is, we need to subtract a Q from that. How can I possibly do that? Is there anything that, the probability of that item is just Q? And yeah, we do, right? We have that intersection. And the intersection probability is Q. So if I subtracted out the intersection, that's going to go ahead and give me exactly what I want, which is the union is basically taking the probability of A plus the probability of B, but subtracting out the intersection so that we don't accidentally add that intersection twice, right? Because when I look at A, right, it includes Q. When I look at B, it also includes Q. So just adding the two together, Q kind of gets doubled up there. You got to get rid of that. So what we do is we subtract that out. Right? So that right there is the addition rule formula. All right, so that's something we're going to be using this whole section. You got to get comfortable with it. I was just hopefully showing you, kind of where it comes from and, why it works the way it does, mainly because we have those two Q's in here when we add just the A and the B together, so we have to subtract it out to kind of get what we want, which is just P plus Q plus R. Okay?